water, earth, fire, air. Not too long ago, there was an animated series on Nickelodeon that was truly awesome. So many fans were wondering, when will a movie come out of this series? Well, be careful what you wish for, viewing audience, for a movie did come out of this series, and it was originally titled Avatar: The Last Airbender. But because of movie copyright issues dealing with blue men, it was later changed to The Last Airbender. And that's where this review now comes from. Hey party peeps, MangaMan here, back from seeing Avatar: The Last Airbender. Or just The Last Airbender, as it seems to want to be called. Anyways, I'm gonna give you a little brief analysis of what I thought of the movie. First, I would like to let you all know that I was a huge fan of the animated series on Nickelodeon. And for the longest time, I've been pondering as to if it could be deemed an anime or not. And I'll get to more on that later. But for now, I just want to give my thoughts on the movie The Last Airbender. I know this is probably a little too late, since a lot of you have probably seen other reviews from other people, but I just wanted to give my thoughts, and any people that are subscribed to me know that they want to know what I think. Anyways, what did I expect of this movie? I did indeed expect it to suck. I knew it was gonna suck. And guess what? It sucked. It really did. Oh man, it tried to get... The main problem I had with this movie was the visuals. They tried to adapt the visuals from the cartoon and try to put a new twist on them in this movie, but the problem is they got a lot of them wrong. One of the main issues that I had with this series might be nitpicky for some of you, but I just have to say it. All the Fire Nation don't have top nooks. Now, any of you that don't know, the Fire Nation top nook is a symbol of royal standing and is to be considered a highly honorable thing to have as a hairpiece. And this was made clear during one scene in Avatar: The Last Airbender cartoon, where Zuko and Iroh cut off their hairbands, top nooks, because they were labeled as traitors of the Fire Nation. And they didn't even do this in the movie. Nobody has any type of status wearing top nook at all. I know this might sound strange and whatnot, but I missed them. I really did. I felt alienated by the missing of these guys. By the way, this is not scripted, in case you didn't know. Oh boy. Another thing that a lot of you've probably noticed is that they keep on pronouncing all the names wrong. I mean, let's see. The Last Avatar, or On, or Soka. I mean, it's Sokka. It's Aang. Throughout the entire movie, I was saying like, Aang, Sokka, Aang, Aang, Aang. It's Aang, you stupid ignorant ape! I haven't seen too many M. Night Shyamalan movies. The only thing that I know of him is that he apparently likes to do a lot of plot twists. Well, if there was a plot twist, I would have to say that it was the ending. But let's start at the beginning of this shitstorm, shall we? It starts off promising. It does the original intro and whatnot from the cartoon series with all the benders doing their different bendings. Water, earth, fire, air. But they really look kind of strange, especially the air one, where the guy's like going all crazy shit like that. I mean, the airbender in the intro of the cartoon, all he did is just did a flip and then landed with air twisting and whatnot. It's not that difficult. This is one of the main problems in this movie. They make it seem like you have to move yourself a lot in order to bend. In the cartoon series, all you have to do is boom, you're dead. But in here, you gotta go like, boom, now you're dead. I mean, seriously? It doesn't take that much effort. The only style of bending that really took that much effort was lightning bending. That one took a lot more effort because it was a more powerful bending art. I can only assume based on my judgment. But why do they have to move all around? You know, when I saw Spoonie's commentary of this movie, he was talking about them always doing Tai Chi, and I was like, think to myself, no, well, they're supposed to do that because it's the bending style and whatnot. Little did I realize that Spoonie was actually right. Half of this movie is indeed Tai Chi, or like them trying to bend and whatnot. All sorts of story convoluted things. Okay, so the way Sokka, or Soka as it is in the movie, and Katara find Aang is a lot different than in the cartoon. The cartoon gave us a good introduction to the characters Katara and Sokka. We got a firm understanding that yes, this is a brother and sister. They fight, they argue. In the movie, it was like exposition. I mean, seriously, our mother died. I mean, father always told me before he left that I had to follow these tracks. Remember, he left about 2 seasons ago or something like that. I miss our mother who was killed in the fire raid 3 years ago by Fire Nations. By the way, did you know that the Fire Nation attacked about 100 years ago? Isn't that around the same time that the Avatar disappeared? Boy, it sure would have been great if he were still alive today. What's this crack in the ice? And then, yeah, the big ice sphere kind of appears, not in the middle of a water, but in the middle of a very, very fake-looking Antarctic. Or South Pole, if you will. Another thing I agree with Spoonie on is that all of the backgrounds, none of these were actual areas. It was all done on a soundstage. I could tell just from my background of being a digital arts animator that they were using a hell of a lot of green screen effects for a lot of scenes. And for a lot of scenes that I don't think really needed any green screen effects. They could have found a location. Was M. Night Shyamalan that cheap? I don't know any of his past movies, but come on! So they find Aang, and unlike the lively, cheerful Aang that was like, "Whew, boy, that was cold. I wonder how I got here." The Aang in here is kind of like, "I'm dying." And so they take him back to the tent and whatnot. Fire Nation comes, Zuko. Yeah, they really messed up on that fire burn right there. I mean, let's take a look at some, like, actual burn victims. Real life burn victim? Zuko in the movie burned victim. I mean, come on! His freaking eyebrow wasn't even burnt off! Jesus, back to the story. So, Aang, or Ong, allows himself to be captured by the Fire Nation, and they find out he's the Avatar in the most weird way possible that was never even used in the cartoon. In fact, I don't think we ever even touched about that in the cartoon, if Aang was the Avatar or not. We kind of just assumed, yes, okay, he is. And we didn't need to get into an explanation as to if he was, but apparently the movies thought that we had to. So they find out he's the Avatar by placing 3 objects in front of him. A candle, a jug of water, and a rock. The candle burns brighter when shoved into Aang's presence. The water gets into a nice little circle, and the rock stands up. And they assume, like, yes, you're the Avatar because no other person can pass this test. It's a true fact. And so he escapes and whatnot, and he travels with the Sokka and Katara across the nation, and they come across the first Earth Nation village and whatnot, where they're supposed to meet Haru. But instead of Haru, we get a small little Chinese boy. What the hell? And instead of all the earthbenders being rounded up onto a big metal ship where they won't be able to do their earthbending, the Fire Nation apparently just has them in a separate part of the village, cornered off and whatnot, surrounded by Earth. I mean, this Fire Nation is very incompetent, and I would have to say stupid. That doesn't even begin to explain how stupid the Fire Nation is. According to the movie, firebenders cannot produce their own flame like that one guy from the X-Men. That is not true, because in the cartoon, all the firebenders are able to produce their own fire without needing to have an exterior source. They can do it on their own, but apparently, according to the movie, that's like some sort of higher level of firebending power.